What is up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video, another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. Again, I am your host, Edward Anderson. So let's jump right into it. So shout out to Shay Sade. You know, if you all are coming across this video, you know, this is going to be an upload. So if you all catch this video on YouTube land, make sure you subscribe as always and make sure you like the video. But shout out to Shay Sade. Definitely check out her channel. I'll probably put a picture of her channel up here. Definitely good, you know, a positive person to hear this type of stuff about. But she did a video covering DDG and Haley Bailey, and everybody, and I've been talking on this, responding to some people on X and Twitter. Here's some of my posts, as you can see them here. And here is the main post as well. And here's a couple other posts you all see spread out throughout this video. And shout out to everybody, including the ladies out there that were keeping it real and speaking on behalf of common sense. And basically, Shay Sade did a video talking about DDG and him making a statement. In fact, let me play the statement.
And if I can tell myself something at age 22, I would tell myself not to get in a relationship, because it's damn near like having a part-time job, bro. Yeah. You really have to apply a lot of time and effort. Like, you might be doing videos all day and your girl get an attitude when you're doing your last video. Like, nigga, when you gonna take me out to eat? Yeah. When you gonna take me to the movies? When we gonna go on a date? And then it causes relationship problems in your real life that can affect your content. You might get mad in an argument. You might not want to film the next day. You might not want to stream the next day. You might not want to go to the studio the next day. Whatever. Like, so I would tell myself, if I was 22, I would say, bro, just grind it out. Let a relationship happen. Yeah. But only happen when you feel comfortable in yourself as a man. Like, I feel like you shouldn't get in a relationship until you feel like a nigga can't DM your girl and take your girl. Like, if you feel like there's a nigga out there that's more lit than you, more like stable than you, that can take your girl, then you ain't working hard enough. Yeah. All
right, so you all heard it. And DDG was talking about what we talk about in on my side of YouTube, which is emotional labor, which is there is emotional laboring that you have to do for women. And I would make an argument that today's women require not only 40 hours, but overtime hours when it comes to that. And the, you know, analogy that DDG came saying it was a job. It's like a job, and it is like a job. Now, Shay Sade, and the video is in the description, Shay Sade is very shocked and surprised at this, and she keeps saying he's young, because it shocks her that he's saying this. So DDG is 26 years old, so he is not that young. Haley is 24. They're not that young, but, and to her defense, you know, she came up in a certain type of way. When I say came up in a certain type of way, you know, you date for marriage, you court for marriage. You know, her husband is the only guy she's been with, and she is married, and so that is the very traditional way of doing it. So from that perspective, this is like hearing someone talk about arithmetic when you really kind of low-key started off doing math in algebra, because you didn't even pay attention to counting and times tables, because that just came so naturally to you. It's like we're saying 1 + 1 is 2, and this is her reaction in the video, you know, in saying that. So I completely understand that with her makeup, her background, why that is what that is. And again, she heard the video, but playing the video or reading what he's saying, I get why she responded the way she responded. So this is not really me going against that as much, but I wanted to piggyback off of that, and it did inspire this video. You know, in the black manosphere, shout out to BGS, emotional labor is a thing. And the reality is, this is something that is not, what is significant about what DDG said is, as somebody that's 26 years old, you know, DDG is like pretty much a Z, a bleeding edge millennial, but really he's a Z. As somebody that's 26 years old, as somebody that's on the younger end, you know, when it comes to the dating market, you know, and then you got to keep in mind, he's a YouTube personality, a streamer, where his time, he has had absolute control of his time, and you know, for pretty much his whole, you know, adult life. By the way, there is a real cost. And so when Shay Sade talks about building relationships takes work, and no duh, that's true. However, I don't think there is an audit. There is a true measurable audit of how much work does it really take, and how much is how much is too much? How much is it really worth this? Now, obviously, this is a conversation that needs to be had before you have a child. And that is where that becomes straight up criticism. That's absolutely open to criticism on that. However, this is a question he was asking, and he said if he could talk to his 22-year-old self, which is before he had a kid, he would say that. You know, be very cautious on relationships because they require a lot of work. And I think where there's value in what he's saying is for two reasons. Number one, a lot of dudes don't even think about this. Even when we say relationships require work, we don't really explain what the work is, how the work is measurable. Like, and I'm not saying it has to be an absolute, like, you know, temperature gauge on it. But if you ask people to really explain how relationships require work, what does that actually mean? I don't really believe people can actually explain it. I don't even think women can properly explain it, let alone men can properly explain it. It's just something that you just deal with it as it goes. And it gets to a point where somebody, and this is where I think a lot of breakups and stuff happen. And this is where, you know, people have kids and they don't really know if they're really cool with somebody to that extent. And now you have soul ties. Now you have a child that binds both of you all. And in that way, that is absolutely a proper perspective. And I would argue the more mature perspective to have, which is hence why she did the video. So that's more on the positive end of that conversation versus a lot of the hating that's going on, the hating on, like the need to beat this guy down to lift Haley Bailey up. That is something I have a fundamental problem with that I've seen. And to be fair, DDG has black female fans, and I have seen black women, whether it's cordially or more harshly, but more likely cordially, check a lot of these chicks. Even in that post that I was in on Twitter, I'll put that link in the description as well. Even that post I was on Twitter, there was a lot of black women that were saying, nah, you scraping the barrel, that's not what this is. They were screenshotting, you know, how much money he has, because the argument in that video was that DDG was acting like he's a breadwinner, which that he didn't say nothing about that in the video. He was pretty much talking about valuing his time. And what this kind of shows me is this kind of indicates to me this is probably the most, either this is the longest relationship he's been in, or this is the most kind of all in he's kind of been in, that where he would have been willing to go that route. Now, some people have differences of opinion. I think he would have been willing to do it. I'm not blaming her. I'm just saying this is where he probably had to really ask this question. Is this where he wants to go to? And he pretty much, unfortunately, after the child is born, comes to the conclusion that he doesn't. But let's be clear here. Another thing that people don't necessarily talk about is people sometimes find their way back together. And that happens. So whatever with that, we'll see with that. But ultimately, there is a real conversation that's necessary for emotional labor. Emotional labor should definitely be talked about. It needs to be, women just assume attention, giving women the attention that they crave or they want, especially from the guys that they want. And if they can't get it from the guys that they want, they will definitely get empty calorie attention, aka on social media. Shout out to y'all, like simps that like to like people's stuff, tell a chick how beautiful she is as if she's seen your comment. You know, they will get, this is where the friend zone is, where you all are giving women free attention from the friend zone. And my question is, what are you getting out of that? What, you're getting female energy? Like, what are you tangibly getting out of a woman? Whether it's her network, is who she know, whatever, in the friend zone. What are you getting? And if you can't answer that question, that might not be a good use of your time. And women they definitely don't respect heterosexual men in the friend zone. I don't know about gay men in the friend zone for women, because there's tangible exchange usually it comes with that, because that's a different interaction that I don't know a lot about. But I do know women be getting mad advice from gay men. You see that in makeup channels that men have, that women are the main ones pushing that up. That's where my indication comes from, the salon situation. So we already know in the entertainment, music, we already know that happens. But so this is a commodity that has value, but because men have because men don't charge for it, or men don't know that they can or that they should. It's something that is not thought about. And I'm definitely going to pass this around to BGS because I want to see if he wants to do a think piece on this, because he's the one that talks about emotional labor a lot. And this is like one of the few times you see somebody really kind of draw that into a job which has money, which has hours. It's something that you can clock. And everybody's kind of missing that. Even Shay is missing that. Like, well, it's obvious it requires work. But see, from her perspective, the work is mutual. When two people like each other, they're putting equal amount of work. We don't know what was going on in his relationship and from that front, but clearly what this guy is indicating as this was requiring stuff that generally I have not had to do before. Also, I'm in this video with this. There's this idea that he is lesser than Hailey Bailey. Hailey Bailey has a potential to be more famous than him because of her having the Disney backing. I think she can make more money potentially because, again, those corporate, it just depends on, where she's going to go with her career. We'll see. Music, acting. Personally, I think she needs to stick with acting, because I think music is just not the market for the type of music that they put out. It doesn't matter that she can sing. It doesn't matter that she can sing. She's obviously talented, but at the end of the day, acting is probably going to be the route that she probably do better in. I think she was smarter in doing that. Because their music is just not selling like that. It's just not. Because they're not making the music that the people that really rock with them back in the Disney days, back in the Blackish days, they're not making that kind of music. They're trying to appeal to a market that they're just not built to appeal to. They're just not. It just is what it is. But this kind of thing where it's like he's got to be, and this has nothing to do with her, by the way, but he's got to be beaten down in order for her to be raised up. This is the problem with the black community. And I don't really understand how in the long run, black people expect to have a community doing this. It is black men that are beating these dudes down. I actually left the group because it was a group just these dudes are just hating on him. You can't say he don't get no chicks. You can't say he don't got no money. You can't say he don't date white women. But for some reason, like, he don't. He's dated black women. But none of this matters. That's what I want to really kind of end this with. It doesn't matter what you do or don't do. They're just check until we just get to, I'm just going to make some stuff up because he's a black dude and I don't like him. He's a light-skinned, short little nigga and I don't like him because I don't like the fact that he put a baby in a chick that he should, as if she just didn't have his baby. Where one little theory I might have is she may have been low-key worried about Ruby Rose, and she might have had that baby to consummate that relationship. Because that's some stuff young folks do in those situations, by the way. Oh, I had his baby, so now what to the rest of the chicks? But whatever, which is a decision she still made, by the way. But whatever, they want to beat him down in order to make her right. And that's not necessary. She's not even on, that's not necessary. It's really not. And that's kind of sad. It really is sad, because one thing about social media is it really tells you where people are in their hearts and minds. And I just don't understand how, as a people, we move forward with that kind of mentality. People could say I'm reading more into that with him, but at the end of the day, all these little things that y'all have to try to justify being mad at somebody, you all don't have that. And so it's kind of like, I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again. If you abandon the black community, what do you really lose? Because either way, you're gonna be a bad guy. You're gonna be a villain in your own community. The narrative is that he was clout chasing off of her, and that he needed her. Let's be very clear. DDG probably has a slightly stronger internet presence than Hailey Bailey does. They're not that strong on the internet. So this idea, only thing y'all really can say about Hailey, about this chick, is that Disney backs her. Well, that's true for Amanda Steinberg. You can say that about a lot of actors. That don't necessarily mean nothing. And that they got their own music stuff they're doing. Their music don't sell. So all y'all that want to clown him, y'all ain't buying her album. Y'all ain't buying her music. You don't buy, like, for real. And they do have their fans. But they're not making music for their fans, quite frankly. They're not. They're being told to do some other stuff. So, like, I gotta really dig into, like, Chloe's musical history really quick, you know, a little bit. I may do a video on that. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to put that thought out there. Let me know what you think. I know this kind of went a little bit longer than it should have been. I probably cut this. But let me know what you think. Do you think I'm on target with this? Do you think he was really talking about emotional labor? Do you all know what emotional labor is? And you need that. You need an explainer for that. It's okay if you do. Do you think that the internet is being too hard on this dude? Do you think she should come out and make a statement, you know, saying that, basically make a statement, you know, basically saying she did what she did and it is what it is and y'all are doing too much. Like, kind of a similar statement like Simone Biles did. Do y'all know any of Hailey Bailey songs? Do y'all know any of their songs? Granted, I don't listen to the radio like that, so that's not an indicator of me trying to throw shade at them. I'm just asking y'all. Let me know in the comments. As always, check in with a like, check out with a comment. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Check out the descriptions. The Cash App is in the description. So make sure you hit that up, hit up the movement. Like I said, check out Shay Sade's channel. Her channel is good. She's definitely a positive force in these types of conversations. And check out her video as well. And with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.